Your listings are gone from Etsy search. You can still open them by their direct link. They look fine in Shop Manager, and they turn up nowhere. Here is the answer before the explanation. There are two completely different problems behind this. They look identical from where you are sitting, and the fix for one does nothing at all for the other. One is your listing not being matched to the search at all. The other is your listing being matched and then ranked so far down that nobody reaches it. Before you rewrite a single word, you need to know which one you have. That takes about 5 minutes, and Etsy has published more about this than the advice on it suggests. Start where Etsy tells you to start, because the dullest explanation is also the likeliest one. Shop Manager, then Listings, then read the listing status. Etsy's help page on missing listings names 4 reasons an item disappears. It expired, it was deactivated, it sold out. Or Etsy removed it for a policy violation, and there will be an email about that. Expiry catches more people than anything else. A listing stays active for 4 months, and if it does not sell in that time and it is not set to renew automatically, it expires quietly. No warning, no error message. One correction, because a lot of advice has this backwards. Automatic renewal is the default on new listings. Etsy publishes that, so if yours are expiring, that setting was turned off at some point. Go and check it. And in account settings, under emails, there is a tick box that warns you 7 days before a listing expires. Turn that on. Now the harder case. Status says active and the listing still is not showing up. 2 questions sort out what you are dealing with, and they take 10 seconds. 1. Did all of your listings lose visibility or only some of them? 2. Was it a cliff, gone overnight, or a slope, sliding over weeks? All of them, overnight, is a shop-level problem. Something upstream stopped surfacing your shop. You cannot edit your way out of that because there is nothing wrong with the listings. Some of them, sliding gradually, is a listing-level problem. Those listings lost ground against what buyers are actually typing, and that one is genuinely fixable. Most videos on this topic hand you the same 10-step checklist regardless of which of the two you have. That is how people end up rewriting an entire shop for a problem that was never in the shop. Here is how to confirm it rather than guess. Open a private or incognito window. Etsy personalizes results, and signed in as the shop owner, you will often see your own listing when a shopper would not. Every "I can see it, but my customers cannot" message starts with skipping this step. Search the exact title of the affected listing, word for word. Scroll several pages deep, not just page 1. This is the part people get wrong, and it is the whole test. A listing that is ranking badly still turns up eventually. A listing that was never matched to that search does not turn up at all, no matter how far you scroll. Then open the listing by its direct link in that same window and check it loads normally. Then repeat for 2 or 3 other listings, including one you would expect to do well. Several listings, same day, loading by link but absent from search, is the shop-level picture. One listing sliding while its neighbors are fine is the ranking picture. That test maps onto something Etsy publishes, and almost nobody making videos about this quotes it. Etsy's legal house rules include a page called Search, Advertisement and Recommendation Ranking Disclosures. It says organic search runs in 2 phases. Phase 1 is query matching. Etsy scans keywords across titles, attributes, categories, and tags, and returns an initial set of results. Phase 2 is ranking, which orders that set. That is exactly what the incognito test measures. If your listing never appears at any depth, you failed phase 1, and rewriting your description does not fix a keyword mismatch. If it appears on page 9, you passed phase 1 and lost phase 2. The same page names the ranking factors. Relevancy. Listing engagement rate, built from clicks, views, favorites, and purchases. Recency. Listing and shop quality, customer service quality. And shipping, where Etsy says prices under $6 to United States shoppers may improve rank. Then there is a second published thing, and this one is specific to your shop. Etsy has a search visibility page inside Shop Manager that names which of your listings are falling short and on what. Its requirements are published too. At least 1 image. A primary photo of 2,000 pixels or more on each side. A single image of a finished product, not a collage. Clear and well lit, the most specific category that fits. And a return policy, even if that policy is no returns. None of that is folklore. Read those 2 pages once, and most of the mythology on this topic stops being persuasive. Vacation mode comes up constantly on this question, and the advice contradicts itself. One widely watched channel says toggling vacation mode off and on will permanently damage your ranking. A seller with 10 years of history documented the opposite, that toggling it brought their listings straight back, repeatedly. Neither cites a source. Etsy answered this in its own seller handbook and has had the answer up since 2018. Etsy's position, quoted, "It is not that you are being penalized, but other listings are gaining this engagement and these interactions. So yes, other listings may rank higher than you following you going on vacation, but over time, once you return, things should even out again." That settles both halves. There is no penalty, so the permanent damage claim is wrong. But your ranking can genuinely be worse afterwards, for a reason that has nothing to do with punishment, so the version where it costs you nothing is wrong too. The one hard number Etsy publishes here: once you turn vacation mode off, it can take up to 10 minutes for your listings to become visible again. 10 minutes, not days. 3 more things you will hear, checked against what Etsy publishes. First, how long reindexing takes after an edit. Etsy publishes a number for a newly published listing, up to 48 hours to appear in search results and categories. It publishes nothing at all about how long an edit takes to be reflected. The few days figure repeated across these videos has no published source behind it. Second, that editing a listing resets your ranking. Etsy publishes close to the opposite. You can edit any part of a listing at any time, there is no cost to edit, and the listing stays available to shoppers while you are editing it. Third, that a fresh listing beats a renewed one. This one is published and it is real but small. Etsy lists recency as a ranking factor. A new listing gets a small temporary boost so that search can learn how buyers interact with it, and renewed listings get a similar though smaller boost. Etsy's own staff then say that renewing is not a very effective strategy for improving your search ranking. Renewing also keeps your view count, your favorites, and your web address, and costs 20 cents. Say the test pointed at ranking rather than matching. One listing sliding. Its neighbors fine. Work the listing, not the shop. Fill every attribute field, since attributes are one of the 4 things Phase 1 scans. Use the most specific category that fits. Use all 13 tag slots as phrases rather than single words. Say plainly what the item is at the start of the title, and clear the photo, return policy, and shipping items from the search visibility page because that list is Etsy's, not mine. One quick way to check whether relevancy is even your problem. Grade the affected listing, then grade a healthy one from the same shop and compare. A wide gap points at a real relevancy problem. 2 similar scores point away from it. That is what I built Listing Den for. It is free, there is no sign-up, and it does not connect to your shop. Here is a neglected listing at 41 out of 100, and a properly written one from the same shop at 100. So, in order. Check the listing status first, because expired and sold out explain more of these than anything else. If it says active, run the incognito test and find out whether you failed matching or ranking. Read the search visibility page, because Etsy is already telling you what it thinks is wrong. Then, and only then, start editing. And when you do edit, do a few listings at a time rather than the whole shop in one evening. Not because of a penalty, none is documented. Because if you change everything at once, you have destroyed your own baseline, and you will never know which change did anything. The written version of all of this, with every source linked and a script for escalating to Etsy support, is at listingden.com. The grader is free there too. Check the boring cause first.